What up, fellas? It's for Nick 2156 here again. I'm wanting to talk about, well, the title of this is I want to talk about, or just talking about stuff. There's a lot that have been going on in my life. Uh, from when I quit my job to now. I quit this job because of a love, a passion. You know, I just wanted to settle down, make family, and just live my life to happiness. And y'all have seen me in journeys from where I started to now. Y'all know my history. But I wanted to give y'all a little bit more of an insight to it. Because I know my girl would like to actually know more about me, even though I'm here, and she can always come over, or she can always make plans to come and see me. Uh, and I can always make plans to go see her now from where I was living. But enough about her right now. Let me get a dip in, and then we'll start off talking. Because I don't know. I'm gonna be dipping on some Copenhagen. Or look at me, I'm already tired because it's right now. It's about 8:05 at night here. It's been rainy, cold all day. Uh, Shit weather, literally. But welcome to Memphis, I guess. I wish I still lived where I did because it was beautiful weather. But like I said, I followed my heart and it led, and I hope it doesn't break my heart. Because that would be a shit. I had a good run and all that stuff. But let me get a dip and then we'll continue talking about different things. And if you're just joining, this is just a talking video. Sorry if I'm looking like I'm squinting like a Chinese man. Don't mean to, just don't have glasses on right now. In fact, where are they? There they are. Still dipping in the old Blue Lives Matter mud jug. And if my girlfriend ever sees this video, I want to tell her she doesn't have to be ashamed of me or what I am. Nor should anybody be ashamed of who they are, what they are. No big deal. I might come across to you on YouTube like a guy who just loves to dip, loves to smoke cigarettes, and that's it. That's fine. I don't mind that. But I come to across some people who actually know me personally as a full-fledged redneck who gives no crap. But really, this one girl that I've been dating so far, she's the only girl that actually has seen me in my good, better moods. Welcome to the stream. This is just to talk about everything that's gone in my life from the time I left Destin Beach, Florida, to now. I lived down in Destin for, I would say, about 4 or 5 years. Moved away from Memphis 4 or 5 years ago, moved to Destin for a job. Then moved back to Memphis for a girl I loved. And still love to this day. But that's to catch you up on the video. But yeah, right now I'm back in Memphis, Tennessee. Shout outs to all my friends over in Britain, all subscribers. Shout outs to y'all. So there won't be as many reviews on tobacco products. Especially there was 0 reviews over the Juulu and vape because I don't believe in that stuff. I believe that stuff is more physically harming to your body. There's a lot of vapors out there. I'm not going to go against them because they're good people too. I have a lot of friends that vape too. I just don't agree with it. You're putting nicotine into a liquid for anybody to buy, and you don't set regulations or anything for it. Yesterday, I was driving to local gas station, and I saw a freaking 12-year-old asking his mom, "Could you buy me one of those? I really need it for school." His mother looked at him and said, "Sure, honey. I'll buy one of those for you." Welcome to the stream. Just talking about the Juulus, my life, what I've done and all that. Welcome to the stream. I am 28. A 16-year-old asking a 28-year-old that question. Okay. Welcome to the stream anyway. This stream might actually help you because I've gone through, hell and back with girlfriends that I've dealt with. So maybe it might help y'all because I know Amy Anderson. Really? Hello, Amy. Sorry, I'm having to look down into where the camera is. There's a lot of things that y'all need to know. If you are looking for boyfriends on here, they aren't who they say they are. They may look like rednecks. They may look like someone that you want. Don't believe it. Because I used to date a YouTube girl that used to have a, big YouTube channel that got taken down a while back because it turned out to be a guy that was disguising himself as a girl, which was weird. But I'm glad both of y'all are in the video now. But talking about all the choices that y'all will probably have to make in y'all's life versus all the choices that, say, girls I graduated had to make are all different. I believe it was Amy who was 16. Do you do, what is that thing called? Vape? Do y'all know what vape is? Okay, I'm going to guess not. If you know of anybody who vapes and that, tell them to stop. If they're under the... Rock on. Sorry, my thing. Wilk, rock on with that statement. Vaping does suck in so many ways. Because it can also give you nicotine poisoning. And a lot of people, they pop vape in and out and in and out. You see these big clouds, so called. But you also got to think one drop of vape juice, no, actually, one container of that vape juice that's in one of those jewels is like smoking a whole pack of cigarettes. So you go through one whole pack of cigarettes every time you vape one of those containers of it. Think about if you had to smoke one full pack of cigarettes in one day. And then smoke another one the next day and another one the next day. Exactly. I'm glad that you came into this chat because you get it. It's the craziest thing where these companies so-called say vape is better for you, but really one drop, and that's an eyedropper drop of that e-liquid hits your tongue, you get nicotine poisoning. Just so more you know about vaping, the more you hate them. I used to smoke cigarettes. As y'all know, my channel is all dipped. Now it used to be all cigarettes with Winston's, Camels, Newports, the whole work. L&M's, Traffics, Edgefield, Salem's, Misty's. I've done them all. I've done pipe tobacco. I've done weed even. But before I go any farther, I know the girl just left, right? Just saying. Because, Amy, you don't like hearing about the jewels and tobacco and all that stuff. And I know Wilk is probably still in here. Shout outs to Wilk for that. Cool. So, if y'all know who Amy Anderson is, tell her do not search for a boyfriend on a freaking YouTube thing. That is ridiculous. I mean, sure, it might work once, but you don't know how old they are. But yeah, I think it's just really funny when I start doing live streams, like almost all my live streams, a girl will pop on randomly. There was a girl 2 nights ago, was Care Bear is her name. She was looking for a boyfriend. She thought I was 16. I'm 28. It says it in my bio on my YouTube channel. So it's really funny when you start looking at how desperate girls have gotten versus how desperate guys have gotten. So, Wilk, where do you live? What state or country? Just to start off. Wow. Didn't know I would have a poll in person. Wow. I'm in the U.S. And yes, sadly, we do have to deal with a lot of politics. Just like any place. But what do you smoke? Sorry if I'm looking down, but the comments are going way down into a thing I'm holding my phone in. Red or mentholated? Okay. You're a gold smoker. Okay. I did one review over Newport Red, which is non-mentholated. Whoever in their right mind created Newport as a non-mentholated gotta be shot. That stuff, because I have tried Marlboro Golds. I like them. They aren't as strong as most of them. But the Newports, if you think about a mentholated cigarette that they take and just take out the mentholation of, but they leave like a trace of it into the cigarette, you've got Newport Reds, which is non-mentholated. So you live in Poland. So what's the weather like up there? Sorry for all these questions. I'm just curious about other countries. Slightly cold. Dang, I should move up there. Because it's a mild 32 degrees right now here. Rainy. You could basically call me Ireland. Yeah. Have you ever tried dipping or snuff? Did you like it or no? What was the company that you did pouches in? All right. Because I know that there's so many different companies out there who are saying that they're, you know, Skull. Is that Skull or Scroof? I think I know what you're trying to say there. Hold on. Let me grab one of the cans so I can see real quick. Where are you now? I know you're here. I didn't just put you in a random location. Grizzly. Come on. Where are you? Yeah. Oh, there you go. Is come on. Is this what you were meaning? So that might be a dip I haven't done. I may have to look those up. I've never heard of that one. Here in the U.S., we have that's why we have like the Northerner who can transport almost every type of tobacco to us. We just got to use them. We have Skull, Longhorn, Kodiak, Kayak, Copenhagen, Grizzly, Timberwolf. And you're probably used to, I don't know how y'all's or the Norwegian pouches look, but ours, and I'm going to show you 2 different makers of pouches. Here's the Timberwolf can. It has a little drawer on top for your pouches or your portions, just to be precise. And then this is with the Longhorn. And these 2 are about $1.29 each. Here in the US, I don't know like what the pounds or any of that. That I have. That stuff, I got it one time because one of my close friends had it. That stuff hurts when you haven't done it before. And honestly, I did a big failure there. Yeah, I know. I did a really big failure on that. And I did actually some directly from Poland because he had a good friend that shipped it to him. I don't remember the brand or anything. I just know it was a pain in the nose for me because all of our tobaccos that we get here are either a fine cut I gotta say, it gave me one hell of a buzz. That's for sure. Not many dips or snuffs that I can say. And just so you know, snuff means something different here. Snuff is the fine cut. I do not have a can of fine cut, but here it's fine cut dipping tobacco. But I know what you're talking about because I do have a lot of friends. Good, because a lot of my friends from Poland tell me, "Oh, we tried some American snuff and it was too chunky." And I'm like, let me guess, you snorted it instead of dipped it like a regular dip tobacco. And they said, yes. You can't snort our snuff, that's for sure. Yeah. Our snuff, and let's see, this one that I have right here is actually, hold on. Oh, it's a moist snuff is what these are. Let's see if I can't fix the can lid so you can see that. Yeah. It says that right there. Moist snuff. Well, let me open this one up because I do have some in here. I've been dipping on this ever since I was 13. That is what, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. But that's what our snuff comes in. Most of them. The pouches will either come in a fine cut pouch, a long cut pouch, or as I believe these were, these are the coffee grind pouch. Oh, shit. Well, you're in luck here. I didn't even know I saved some of these. Here's our portion pouches. This is a fine cut, not coffee cut. It's a brown. 15 comes in a container. So you get tiny little pouches. Golly, I didn't even know I had 2 of these suckers left. And that's my Longhorn. Well, add that to my to-do list. Hold on. Better make sure I don't have any more pouches anywhere. Since I've only done pouches maybe 3 or 4 times in my career. I'm actually kind of surprised about that. Nope. Yeah. You pay $1.29 here. If you look on the back of this, I'm going to try to get it to focus on it. Well, the one thing that I've learned with pouches and without pouches is when you're taking a long cut, like this, for instance, this is our Longhorn long cut. What you got to do is literally pack it against that side of the can. Take your finger, stick it in there, crush it into the side, and shove it either into your lower jaw, which you will still get some of those strands of it that go all over your mouth. But like I said, it happens. That's why most of us guys here in America stick to usually a mint or a wintergreen long cuts over pouches, unless we're going on dates. But yes, you will get tobacco all over your mouth and you wind up looking like a guy who forgot to floss his teeth. Just to put that out there. And I know in Poland that they have a different amount that they put into each pouch. Well, this is the Rody Mud Jug. It's the Blue Lives Matter Rody from mudjug.com. Here in the US, it's a yes, actually. The thin blue line means the same thing. It's a Blue Lives Matter. And I'm trying to get the best picture. It's one of those things where people have gone with like Black Lives Matter, stuff like that. Or I believe they even have a new flag out similar to this, which is a Arabic flag, and Arabic Lives Matter. Not to get on those subjects, but it is what it is. I still can't believe I still had pouches. Why do I still have 2 pouches? Okay. Those can go back over there. And a lot of the cans that you'll probably see have a metal lid and a, that's kind of too bad for that. Because chewing tobacco versus could you repeat that? It went by too fast, sadly. But like I say, the difference between, dipping tobacco and chewing tobacco are two different things. Chewing tobacco, as y'all will know, you know what? I always thought I had to go around the law because I was 13. It's illegal here to dip when you're 13. You can only purchase tobacco products when you're 21 here in the US. So I always had to go around the law. I do not recommend going around the law that much because of no. 18, I started when I was 13. But the law states that nobody under the age of 21 can buy dip here in America. Or dip, cigarettes, any of that. Which stinks, yes. But it also, and this is why I went on that little vape hatred. There is no law against buying vapes or Julus or whatever those things are called. That's the only problem with it. Is like they don't have a law against it. So, like I said, I walked down to the gas station down the street from where I live, and they had this 16-year-old and his mother was buying him a Julu, a vapor. And I'm like, what? I know the cashiers there pretty well. I said, oh man, here in the US, it's the biggest vape. Yeah, you could basically call US a vape nation. There are a lot of us who don't do vape, and it irritates us how little people actually know what vape really came from. All smokeless tobacco. If it wasn't for cigarettes and that nicotine, you wouldn't have dip, you wouldn't have chew, you wouldn't have vape. So basically, it all circles back to cigarettes. And people say, oh, vaping can cure you from smoking cigarettes. It's not really the cigarettes that need to be cured. It's people's nicotine addiction. I don't call it an addiction because I do a lot of this. But if you ever see, what is that? Outlaw Dipper or Mudjug One on YouTube, or what is the other one? TNT Cigars. They do all these different types with tobacco. Same as I do with reviews and stuff like that. TNT Tobacco will ship out of state. You don't dip. But like I said, each to his own. Cigarettes, dip, I guess vape, even though I don't really like vapors. But cigarettes, I mean, I dip. I smoked so many different types of cigarettes ever since I was smoked some snuff. You mean snorted some snuff? But not to get on that warpath scenario. But yeah, here, people who dip, people label them as rednecks, white trash. Yeah, don't worry about it. rednecks, white trash, trailer park people. I mean, we get labeled everything. Smokers, on the other hand, smoking is banned in a lot of, public areas, which is ridiculous. But like I say, they have some reason for it. Like they have some reason for it, whereas vaping, probably same in Poland with this statement, but vaping became popular into restaurants. You can't go more than a foot without seeing someone, blow like a damn horse. And they don't think that will cause secondhand. I mean, it is just vape, but it also has nicotine compounds in it. You do run the risk of injuring your lungs the same way. And the flavor stuff. If I wanted some flavor stuff, I would just go out and buy tobacco that's flavored, like hookahs and all these other things. And was it Poland or was it Europe that had that big influx of immigrants from like Muslim territories and stuff like that? I'm trying to remember. But I bet when you smoke a cigarette, you use matches. What do you think about all what do you think about all that? Is it a pain in y'all's ass or? I get you. Trust me, we're having the same issue with Mexicans coming up here. Yeah, we're having Mexicans and Muslim issues. But like I said, US is a weird country. Because a lot of the laws that US has, and I don't know if they have the same law in Poland, but in Poland or in Britain, I know that you can't have big trucks in Britain area. Here, we're allowed to have as big as we want. Yeah, they do have the same religion, but when it comes down to where the cartel and, as I like to put it, the cartel, drug smuggling, all this crime wave, human trafficking, stuff like that goes on with that. It brings more and more crime to the US, where we wind up having to fix, as I like to call it, fix our own government in that sense. So more power that we have in our government, the less power that each individual citizen has. Like for the ranchers that live on the border, who have cattle and all that stuff, they go out to their field and find cattle dead because Mexicans have crossed at their property line, killed a cattle for food or something, mainly food. They cook it up and leave the remains for the ranchers to find. Will the government help them out? No, they won't. And with all these big trucks and trains and all this stuff filled, literally we can't even help. The thing that I want people to really get and know about this is that we have homeless Americans that don't have money, don't have jobs, don't have anything. And yet our government is actually bringing these people in, putting them up in housing, giving them clothes, food, water, all this stuff. And then we wind up seeing a big drug influx from them. So we wind up with a losing cause because a lot of Mexicans take the Americans' jobs. And before you say it, I'm from Tennessee. I would have a worse Southern drawl if you go down to Louisiana or Florida. But I am from Tennessee. And no, I don't drink moonshine, before people think of that. Yes, I am Southern. I mean, born and raised here in Tennessee. I fish, I hunt, and golf. Those are pretty much my sports. But also, if you go north, most of the women that are up north aren't as pretty. When you come to the south, you'll see everything from short shorts that are, thigh high, and sunbathing. Trade off, I guess. But don't get me wrong about those Polish girls. They're cute as hell. And before you ask the question to that, yes, American guys do like dating other countries' girls. Wow. Intriguing. No? So you smoke, you've done snuff, and let me guess, are you trying to find a boyfriend on here? Or do you have a boyfriend? Good answer. But yeah, I mean, that's why I say a lot of girls on here are trying to find a boyfriend. Just like the one before that was speaking, saying, can you say hello to her and all that? She was obviously trying to get a boyfriend. Go figure. But yeah, I mean, a lot of girls here are either on drugs, alcohol, or they're gold diggers, only wanting money. I guess that's a payoff in a sense. But yeah. I bet you've dated some guys that were questionable yourself. I understand that. Here's the thing. With the girls here, like I said, they only see one thing. Girls in a lot of other countries see more than just that one thing. And two people that don't have a YouTube channel and they want to try to start one up, even if you don't have, you know, a computer that's strong enough to do it or any of that, because right now I'm on a cell phone doing this video. I do recommend doing it on a cell phone if you have the cell phone. If you don't, and you have a computer with a good, camera, go out and see what. Of course, I'm just saying that you might want to think about maybe starting your own YouTube. Plus, you get, after a few reviews, you do get some money back, but who needs that when you can build a community? What is y'all's school like up there? Yeah, talking about masters there. And by the way, you hope you succeed in that. Masters in what exactly? That is a difference. We have to pay for all of our stuff, uh, everything, and go for it. Wow, economics. That's amazing. But yeah, schooling there sounds way better than it is here. Because here, you can look at probably shelling out about $21,000 in US uh, for just 1 year, not a master's, but that's just a 1 year of courses. A master here takes, what is it? Especially in economics, it takes about 6 or 7 years before you can fully have a master's degree in anything. If you're looking into our schools, I would highly not recommend, a few of them, like Yale for one, or Harvard, because those two schools are more expensive than anything I've ever seen. I believe one of my friends just got out of Yale. She only took 2 years of it, got out, and she had to pay about $150,000 to get in. So yeah, that is a whole lot of money. But yeah, I mean, Yeah, our student loans are beyond insanity. I even have to say that probably 80% of Americans still have student loans. Uh, Only that 20% may have had to take loans out to literally pay off those loans. So the debt is higher here in America. Wish it wasn't, though, because it would have made my career choice easier than, to find jobs and stuff like that than what it is now. Like, you can come to the US and try to find a good paying job and never succeed, or you can come to the US trying to find, an okay paid job, and then you wind up realizing that it's a garbage man or a poop scoop at a zoo or a Subway worker or a McDonald's worker, restaurant area. So, I mean, weighing in the options there, if you're coming here to study, it might be a benefit, but then you wind up looking at, okay, so what do you want to do after it? What type of job? Because if you're wanting to go into something with economics or being a teacher or something like that, you're gonna probably, for a teacher, I know my mom was a teacher, she got probably about $400 or $500 a month. Healthcare system, it's not like it is in the Europe and the Union and all that. Healthcare, you pay it yourself. If you get sick or any of that stuff, you wind up shelling out money before you can even see a doctor, first of all. It's kind of like, it's not a government run healthcare. It's all private insurance companies fighting for the lowest price for basically you to be healthy. Right now, I'm paying for my health care. I pay roughly $600 to $700 a quarter, a pay quarter, which is about 6 months. So every 6 months, I have to re-up on it. And with how our last president wanted to go with his Obamacare, it's kind of destroyed, all healthcare here. The best option is to get on with a business for the healthcare, and let the healthcare pay for that, for the doctor, for all of it. But it all comes back down to how badly do you want to, be able to see a doctor, how often, or how much do you want to keep spending on living? It comes down to those two options. I mean, I look at it as health insurance is a scam in so many ways, here in America at least. The Affordable Care Act here in the US, and I'm glad you brought this up because it's really screwed up, where, as I like to put it, as the poor man goes into a doctor on the Affordable Care Act, and they have a rich man that doesn't get sick or anything, the rich man's basically healthcare pays for that poor man. to have health care, all that stuff. Because longer that you are healthy, and every time you pay for it, and you say, for instance, you are healthy for a year and you have to re-up at the end of that year, that whole year, all that money that you just paid for them is going to some poor, for the poor people, or sad to say poor, I mean, for the, I can't really call it poor, middle class people, to be able to go to the doctor if they have to go, constant. Say if they have diabetes, any type of illness or any of that, it becomes a big pain in the ass of a lot of people. And the deductibles on the Affordable Care Act is outrageous. It's like something like, I believe right now on mine, I'm still paying off the deductible on it, which is about $2,000, $3,000. Before, if I ever do get sick and I go to the hospital, I'll be having to pay the hospital cost plus that $2,000 before the insurance will deduct whatever they can out of that. So it's really kind of a unfair Affordable Care Act. But yeah, if you are looking to come to a school here and you're just doing schooling, then yeah, I would say do it. But just know the bad parts about it is where you wind up having to pay for your schooling, unless your government has papers that you can bring in with you and that they'll pay for your schooling, which I don't know about. And then all of that stuff. It's a whole well, if you're just visiting, the best place to visit where you won't get into so much trouble, stay out of Tennessee. This is coming from a local here. Maybe stick a little bit farther south, because down there, Florida, Alabama coast, Louisiana, California coast, you don't really get many, gangs and violence. When you start going up north, like Washington, D.C. and New York, those are iconic places, yes. But you wind up with gangs too. And it can ruin a trip. And I just don't like seeing people, coming from other countries and getting, abducted, B, robbed, or C, jumped. But it happens. And I mean, visiting the South is way better. I mean, visit Tennessee if you want, Memphis, Graceland, that area is all good. Just don't go to downtown Memphis. If you're going to go down like to Florida, like Miami or any of those, you'll be safer there just because that is south. And why I said don't go to Bill Street here in Memphis, Tennessee, is because that's where a lot of gangs, strippers, night walkers, and all that. I don't know where there's that many shooting ranges. We do have, well, near where I live, we do have a police gun range. I'm not so sure about another gun range. I think that's might be a public gun range. But like I said, there's not many gun ranges here. Now in Arkansas and Mississippi, you can definitely find gun ranges there. You would just might have to do some studying on those. But here in Tennessee, there are maybe some up towards Chattanooga, Tennessee. But where I live, there aren't that many. There's maybe two. One is a police gun range, which is just for police officers. And then one might be a public, but I'm not sure. I usually just go down to Louisiana. That's where I do most of my hunting. Gator hunting, usually raccoon hunting, boar hunting, some of those. And if you're ever down in Louisiana, stopping into any of those local restaurants down there and try some gator meat. You won't regret that. And gator meat, if you don't know what gators are, which I'm hoping you do, is this. Shot him with a 12 gauge shotgun to the back of the skull. This was actually my very first gator I shot back when I was 17. Made good alligator gumbo. And if you've ever heard that, that gator tastes like chicken reference, don't believe it. It tastes like basically, what is it? Whale's catfish or a tilapia. And yes, I do know that I'm not your average looking hunter, but I do occasionally hunt. But I don't know what the gun laws are up in Poland. For the guns that I own, at least. Maybe, like I said, maybe you could fill me in on in Bali. Wow. Okay. Yowzas. Haven't had a chance to travel out of the country to hunt or any of that. Actually, I don't do much traveling. So I'm guessing you can't do a 12 gauge shotgun with a drum mag, I guess, or a Barrett 50 cal, or a Desert Eagle. I own a 50 cal Barrett, AK-47, a 12 gauge shotgun, a 10 gauge shotgun. My brother, he owns 2 Desert Eagles, 50 cal. My uncle, he owns two M60s, M1 Grand, about 3 of those, and then 2 Enfields. And all of those are legal here in the U.S., which I'm kind of surprised about myself. But like I said, all countries have their laws and regulations. Like you can't hunt quail or pigeons or any of that without having a little stopper in your shotgun that can only have 3 shells. Which, I mean, you can shoot those 3 shells and just reload. But like I said, I have not been licensed to own these weapons. You don't have to have a license for these weapons if they are antique weaponry. That is the way that I can go around that law of licensing. If I had bought a brand new Desert Eagle, I would have to have a gun permit, a license, and all this stuff. But on the land that I hunt on, it's owned by my family. So I can go down there, shoot whatever I want. Whereas I know in a lot of other states, if I had bought these guns, new in probably 2002, 2017, I would have to have a license to own these guns, to operate these guns, to buy bullets for these guns. So, I mean, it's one of those things. Like I've always said, different countries have different rules about guns and how old you can be to own one and all that stuff. I say, and a lot of my redneck friends say, as long as you're old enough to hold a gun, as long as you can hold it up, you can shoot a gun. But like I said, and I do say that a lot, like I say, and all that stuff. But if you do ever make your way down to Tennessee or any of those southern states, definitely try some of their, it's called, I know here in Memphis it's called Cherry Pie Moonshine, if you're into alcohol. If you aren't, definitely try your hand at some of our tobaccos. Dipping tobaccos, our cigarettes. I know that there's one pack of cigarettes that I used to smoke that came from Poland. I think it was like the Finnish Swiss or sweet. And moonshine is legal here. But it's called apple pie moonshine. Or what was it? Cherry pie moonshine. They have a cherry pie moonshine and an apple pie moonshine. Oh, shit. Sorry, I'm having to grab a lot of wiring here because it seems to be my cell phone's almost on the fritz again. There we go. All right. And yes, moonshine is as strong as people say it is. Some states make their own moonshine. Just don't drink moonshine down in Florida or Louisiana because you can go blind. Yeah, you can go blind. I've had friends that drink Louisiana moonshine, and one of my friends, he went blind because of it. But yeah, depending on where you want to travel down here in the South, you can find, really good tour guides and stuff like that. 72 proof, and they're calling that moonshine. I've never heard of moonshine that was under 100 proof. I think our Tennessee moonshine, the real stuff, is 110 proof, or percent alcohol. Basically, it's similar to paint thinner. And let me tell you, it will get you buzzed off of although you did say that you've had others. Yeah, that's what a lot of people have said once I tell them about Tennessee's moonshine and stuff. But like I say, Tennessee colleges, here we have University of Memphis, which is a Memphis college. Then we have these colleges which are state colleges like Southwest Community College, Northwest Community College, and I even believe there is a lot of good colleges up in Nashville, Tennessee, which if you're into country music, Nashville or Memphis are your go-to cities to visit. Just don't hang around, downtown Memphis or downtown Nashville. Those are some dark places that when you go down, you don't come back. Is why I don't travel down there. And on the whole topic, especially if you are a woman, you definitely don't want to go to downtown Memphis unless you have a guy that's with you or a couple of people with you. Girl, if I said, if you ask anybody else who lives in Memphis or near Memphis, if downtown was really that bad, yeah, it's beyond that bad. I mean, you can't go more than a foot down any of those downtown. They are. But with how many gangs are around, we have the Bloods, we have the Crips, we have the Irish Mafia that's down there. We have all these different groups of minorities that have made gangs down there, the Mexican Mafia, cartel and stuff like that, who do drug running, pimping out girls down there. I mean, it's all this crap that it's basically a Sin City in a nutshell down there. I live on a suburb outside of Memphis. That is why I don't deal with that. I do have to travel into Memphis a little bit, but the parts that I travel aren't as bad. You thinking that was a rumor that people have said to scare people away from it? It's not. And I hate to say that about the place where I've grown up. I've lived my life here. I've lived in a lot of different places here in Tennessee. It's not. The only good places here in Memphis still left are the white side of Bill Street, which is towards the Peabody Hotel, Because anywhere other than the white side, you have your blacks that if they see a beautiful girl, they will try to get you onto cocaine, meth, heroin, psychiatric drug if you're looking for fun, as they say down there. And then they'll take you and keep you doped up, and literally. It's not a scare tactic at all. It's more of a realization. People do say that's so-called a rumor that people do get kidnapped a lot and taken and sold or prostituting for money, and that's supposed to scare people off. I've seen worst of it. And you got to believe everything they say. It is that bad. Especially the southern, real southern, like down on the tip of Louisiana or the tip of Florida, or I even would say like the tip of Texas. Those areas are pretty damn bad for that. It's not as... I don't want to steer you wrong. Memphis, if you go during the day down to downtown, it's all good. There aren't many gangs out there. But it's the only nighttime and that time before nighttime that you wind up running into people that will, kidnap you, rape, sell you, drug you, that stuff. It's not a scare tactic. It's facts. But there are a lot of guys like me who I will drive downtown at night and find, girls who have gone down there from like University of Memphis, because I do get called from, staff at University of Memphis when they're taking people down there to party, because it's like either spring break or something like that. I'll go down there and I will find these girls and bring them back to the place. But that's the only reason why I know so much I do. And on top of that, I've worked in bars, bar and grills down there for a while now. But I did quit that job, moved down to Destin, Florida, which is a really nice place. Also Panama City, Florida, which is another southern area, which is a really nice place. But like I said, stay out of, most of those real populated, bar areas, or as we like to call them, the Sin City sections. But if you go to like Arkansas, Mississippi, or Alabama, any of those sections, even the University of Memphis area, the campus area, they aren't bad at all. You won't run the risk of someone kidnapping you or any of that. Or even in Nashville, I don't think there's that much kidnapping. I do know safe. The Southern Hospitality, you would literally have to go to, where is that? The Alabama coast. Right there near Florida and Alabama coastline, to see some real Southern hospitality. If you go to any of those restaurants right there, that is a lot of Southern hospitality. And they do have a cool accent. But like I said, every state here has its own issues with drugs and stuff just because of the Mexican cartel. And that's why it's a big issue with all the Mexicans and all that stuff. Um, like, for instance, I used to date, let's say I've dated two girls who were both born and raised where I live uh, in Tennessee, who I knew back when they were just, 16, 17. Because I was 16, 17 when I first met them. I started dating them. Then both of them they were both really smart. I mean, they were making all A's in school. They went to University of Memphis to get a master's degree there. Did everything that they could. They passed that. Went to start going to work at a lot of these companies. Started hanging out with, I hate to say it, but I'm not racist, but these black guys. And then the next thing I know is when I started dating them again, or when I started dating them after all that, they started, I started noticing things like they had, needle marks on their arms from doing heroin. And I said, so now, where did you get those needle marks? They said, oh, I'm trying to avoid this conversation. And I said, are you on heroin? Because I know a lot about, drug addicts and drug use and opiate use and all that, because I've just dealt with people that deal with it. There's a lot of homeless here, especially here in Tennessee, just because of the opiate, academic or the opiate, addictions. Same with heroin, cocaine, meth, uh, hallucinogenics mainly. But I don't know if Poland. Well, that's not specifically true. I can feel safe, but it's the mindset that that all this is going on. But you basically put up a fake wall, as I like to call it, to it. You see all the good in people before the opiates, before all these drugs. Uh, these gr- Exactly. Unless you're with a person that knows where to go, how to stay clear of those type of situations. Which nowadays, if you try to rent, say, what we have here is an Uber or a taxi, I would tell you don't do that. Have a friend or have someone that you know personally, like a mother or father, or that rent a car, and have somebody who has lived around that area tell you, oh, this is a good place to eat or good places to go to see the scenery. I mean, I go down to the Mississippi River. That's what's here in Memphis, which is downtown. You just don't want to be there at night. You can go down there at sunset. The sunset is beautiful down there. Uh, really top notch. But yes, like I did say. Correct. You can't trust taxis. You can't really, no, you cannot trust Uber. Those two you cannot trust. Here, taxi drivers are not like they are everywhere else. Here, personally, that's why I drive myself. I don't trust anybody else to drive me. That's why I own a big truck, so people can just stay out of my dang way. And if people come up and, try to hurt me, I always carry a knife on me. I've always carried a knife on me. This is one that I've carried ever since I was 13. It's a TAC-4 skull knife. Really handy. Actually, it has come in handy more than I like to say here in Memphis. But yeah, it's just, you just got to know where you're going to be. Let people know where you're going to be at all time. And know that you know how to get out of situations yourself. Like if you do come to Memphis, I can conceal, I can carry, I can use a knife like this. There is no concealed carry law here. For guns, it's different. Guns, you cannot have it in the open unless you have a Tennessee carry license, even if you are from another country. And that is a pain in the ass. And I know it. But knives, like I can just have this one out, hooked onto my belt, blade all out, waving around. Nobody will do a thing to me. Whereas I have a knife that's in my truck right now, which, if you think this is a bigger knife, that knife is about that long. And if you ever do travel to the South, get a can of mace, pepper spray. It can be one of those small ones. You can order off of Amazon. These small little pink ones or blue or whatever color ones you want. Always carry one of those around too. It's just another safety precaution. I personally rely on my knife and my fist to get me out of situations. But like I say, usually if you come to Memphis, you won't have a run-in if you stick to, the areas that, like I said, nighttime is the worst time to be out, which I know in Poland, nighttime is the best time to be out, some cases, to go party and all that stuff. Nighttime here isn't the safest to be out. And driving here, it's not the safest time to drive outside at night, because people do stupid stuff in their vehicles around here. Like, I can say this as an example. I don't know how it is in Poland, but here, guys drag race on the streets. Guys go off-roading with their vehicles. Like, guys literally do everything that is against the law in their vehicles. You'll see a lot of guys, doing drugs from their vehicles a lot of times. But there's a lot of good that comes out in Memphis too. And I don't try to scare people away from Memphis. But yeah, there are a lot of things that, people from other countries don't really think it's the factual statements of, they hear a lot and then they want to come visit. Yeah, those it is amazing when you look at it. But then if you start going to where locals are, or if you start seeing what the locals see who have lived there for a long time, you start seeing the real trashiness of it. Like down in Austin, Texas, that place is gang ridden. Like you can't go more than a few feet without seeing a gang. In California, like Alcatraz territory, you start seeing a lot of different things. Like if you've, oh, I'm sorry, did I upset you? Okay, well, I'm sorry if I upset you, girl. I thank you for watching the video. Oh, well, it said that you left up there. Huh, okay. But yeah, I mean, different states have their different things. Louisiana, near the swamplands, all of those are governed by the people that own those lands. Like literally, you could be shot for stepping onto another person's land, or you could get in a big argument and start fighting, and knives start swinging. So it varies on the different states, really. As much as I really hate it, a lot of these countries in particular, or a lot of these states here in particular, have, like I like to call it, have gangs. First of all, have, as I hate to say this, but have kidnappings. It happens almost every day here in the U.S. Shootings, you'll hear about that a lot more if you visit. Don't turn on the news if you come to Memphis. You'll be hearing a lot about shootings, gun violence, all that stuff. Stabbings, a lot of that stuff. Car theft, robbery. I mean, it makes up what we are. I mean, we just live with it. As much as we hate to say it, it's part of what we are in the U.S. We're of equal opportunity, so-called, but it winds up where people want to take what they don't have, or they want to get more money, as a lot of people say. So all I gotta say is just be safe where you go, and always carry a good knife with you. I know on planes you can't bring knives on planes. So once you get to wherever you want to visit, go to a knife shop or just go to a knife shop, buy yourself a knife. Go to a Walmart, Target, any of these superstores, and ask them where their hunting supplies are. And then they always have a knife counter there. I would always purchase, maybe I wish I could say I never had to use mine. I really do. But I've never. What? Wait, was that a different person? I'm hearing my pants are down. Wait. Just. Okay, whatever you're thinking. Hexrex, this is not that type of chat, buddy. I'm sorry. Okay, that's unique. Okay. First time I've ever seen that type of chat in any of my streams. So your pants are down? Not a good sign. if you're looking at YouTube for that. There's a lot of websites for that. Just to say. Okay, I did not need to see that comment. But hey, you do you, man. Hey, you do you. That's interesting. But you do you, man. Can't hate on you. I mean, that's like I was saying, there's a lot of people out there who like different things. Although that is kind of creepy. But you do you, man. I'm not a granny. A wrong chat channel and all right. Well, if we can keep this chat to a little bit lower standards than that, yeah, you might be 56. I'm 28, and the other person in this group is 16, I believe. Maybe older. But let's keep it PG thing. Okay. But like I said, it's okay. Just like I said, everybody has their right for that type of pleasure. No big deal. And trust me, there are some grandmas around that are really cute. I don't agree with that statement right there. Yes, there's a lot of grannies in Tennessee. But thanks for that. I don't like when people come in here and start saying those things. Does this one suit your better? Because I know how to use these. And I don't fear death. I've lived here in Memphis, Tennessee for all my damn life. So just cool it with that shit. No, I don't want to see a real knife. Hey, I'm glad that you said that. Toys R Us went bankrupt. And a guy's threatening to show me a real knife. How about I just pull out my M60 and show you what a real M60 can do to you? Dude, I hope you know that YouTube is watching my comments. And I am definitely going to ban you from ever making comments on my channel again. Well, good, because you're a child molester. Because you're saying this into a chat where there's a 16-year-old. Have fun with that statement. It's a girl, you asshole. And no. Oh, wait. Yes, I am going to remove him. Let me grab what I'm doing it on. Uh, and remove. There we go. All right. There we go. So now I can't see his chat anymore. All right. Sorry about that. If I keep getting comments like that little fuck, asshole, I'll just have to contact YouTube about that. Just so you know. Hold on. What is my phone doing? I'm gonna remove. All right, cool. Wilk, tell me if you can see any of his messages. Okay, so that's 3 people in this chat now. Pay no mind to Hexrex if you see a lot of his, comments. But yeah, this video has been a long video. I don't know what time it is in Poland. But here it's 9:47 at night. And oh god, hold on. Good, and dang. 4:47 a.m. Jesus. I mean, wait, 4:47 a.m. So three or four, no. My math is off tonight. About 6 hours ahead of us. Jeez. So like if you were going to fly here, you'd be 6 hours behind what you are in Poland. Yeah. So think about that. You're going to be 6 or 7 hours behind what time it is here. Oh, Lord. So, yeah, your sleep schedule would be pretty messed up, just to tell you that. And like I said, I don't deal with people that comment those things and is rude on here. So you may have seen that I was kind of getting angry about that. Wait until you come here and try to go to college. With the time difference from here to there, you're really not going to be able to manage it. Because like right now, it's 4 a.m. there, and a lot of college people would be going to sleep right about now. Because usually classes here start around 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. here. So yes, it is crazy. Or you can do the night classes, which is at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. our time. So if you think 6 or 7 hours ahead of that, technically you would be speaking, let's see. So if it starts at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 p.m. to start class. Yes. 2 p.m. is our night classes. They start at 2 p.m., go probably until 12 at night here. Our morning classes start at about 6 or 7, depending on your teacher here. And those will usually run until probably 1 or 2 p.m. So you wind up with, no sleep either way you put it. And a lot of people also have jobs when they go to colleges here. So they wind up with, they might do like the night class, but they work during the morning. So it's a pain in the rear, either way you put it. Where you mean that's crazy, or is that like a thought? Because people here, I would say my very first job was when I was going to school myself, and I worked from 7 a.m. till probably 11 a.m. And then I went to school at 2 to Tickle Me Elmo. What? Okay, cool. So I'm guessing the guy that liked granny porn left. Thank God. Tickle Me Elmo. Haven't heard of that in a long time. But yeah, I mean, our college times, depending on when you want to go or when you don't want to go. I mean, that's the whole thing about it. Jobs, you can get a part-time job, which Tickle Me Elmo. Okay. All the emojis. That's pretty funny. But I mean, it's a pain in the rear to have to wake up that early to do it. I went to go get an associate's degree in culinary arts. Hence why I have a lot of these knives, bread knives, chef knife, and some chef stuff. But then you run into needing a job afterwards. There aren't that many jobs left. And so-called, they say that jobs are plentiful here. No, they aren't. Because now there's a law where they can check your credit score and all that stuff before you can even get a job. Yeah, I mean, there are people that take apprenticeships. And those apprenticeships are a pain in the rear, especially here to get close to apprenticeship, to go get a major. But a lot of schools, like say for mine, where I was associate's degree in culinary, if I wanted to do an apprenticeship under, say, a butcher or something like that, all I would have to do is find a butcher in, say, Ireland, Scotland, Poland, any of those. And I would have to pay for my flight out there, pay for my hotel, all this stuff to get a apprenticeship from a real butcher, which I could have done before I graduated if I wanted to. Didn't want to because I didn't want to leave my parents, friends, family, that stuff. So that's why I've been stuck where I live now for as long as I can remember. And that's why I can go, hunting and butcher my own meat, get enough to eat and stuff like that, is because I have those skills to butcher and stuff like that. Whereas, say if you're coming here to like be an intern at, corporations for your master's, what you would have to do is go through a master's certificate at a school, which those, depending on what school you choose, is roughly, anywhere from 100,000 US dollars down to, I think the lowest I've seen is actually 35,000, roughly. And then after you're done with your courses, then you go to the apprenticeship, unless you're going for, a certain trade apprenticeship. Because we do have a lot of trade schools. There's welding schools. There's air conditioning schools, truck driving schools. There's all these different schools for trade too. So it really depends on what you want to do in your life, whether you want to do computing, stuff like that. But yes, if you're traveling, just always be safe, is all I got to say about that. And rumors that people tell you about the US, pretty much all of the rumors are true. Are you still in here? Okay, so I know that. I hate when my phone does that. It doesn't show the chat for long. Yeah, well, it is a lot harder here, but if you also take into account that our schools are just there for your knowledge, and they do have people that help you find a job after schooling, just so you are aware. They do have people here that can find you a job or find you an apprenticeship, uh, but yet you still will have to do the schooling fully in order to get, you know, some more money than what somebody. And a lot of people, they don't even do college here. The bachelor's at Wisconsin. I don't know that much about, other states. I just know Tennessee. If you do a bachelor's here and you take the credits from a school at University of Memphis and take them back to get your master's, I don't know if they will transition or anything, but that's what you will have to talk over with, the school itself. I know, say, if I wanted to go to University of Memphis, study for a while, get my bachelor's, and then transition over to like I don't know, a community college or anything, my credits do not transfer. So it has weird methods. Uh, so yeah, it's kind of funny how U.S. schools work versus other country schools. Uh, the only difference I really think, besides all the ones that we've already said, that really matter in a school here, fall break, summer break. Your summer breaks here are usually 2 to 4 weeks. The fall breaks are usually 5 to 6 weeks. Fall breaks. So it's very weird how they work. I went to a trade school, which was L'École Culinaire, culinary school. My teachers, they always told me, because I did morning shifts with them, and that school cost me about 22,000 right there. Like I said, I don't know what that is in other countries' money, but 22,000 in US dollars is a lot of money. I went there for roughly 2 years, got an associate's degree. Went and worked for, small time restaurants. Yeah, it's crazy. But they want you to get all for your money that you can. So I guess paying a little extra and having a shorter break will get you through the whole semester faster, I guess. And here you can choose, like I did, choose what you wanted to study in more. Like I was more into butchery, how to butcher animals, stuff like that. So I took an extra year of butchery class. Uh, so I am licensed to butcher, pigs, deer, gators, really any animal that cattle, sheep, pigs. I think I already said that. Really any of those. So it's, I guess, a win-win in a sense. You Hey, I've tried being vegan myself. I couldn't do it. I guess it's because I love gator meat too much. Just saying. Uh, uh, or a big burger. One of the two. Why is it doing that to me? I can barely see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've had friends that went pure vegetarian. Yeah, only ate vegetables, soybean, tofu, that crap. And they tried to get me to go, to taste tofu and that stuff. I said, no, thank you. I just butchered a gator. I'm going to eat gator meat. And that's the difference here in America. When one of your best friends is a vegetarian, it doesn't mean that you have to be. You don't have to step lightly around the subject, which I know a lot of people think that they have to do. Personally, if someone is a vegetarian, that's fine. I prefer rare meat, gator, boar, pigs, crawfish, tilapia, catfish, eel, octopus, shark, all those type of meats. Sorry, I just went into like a dream state when I said shark. I need to travel back down to Destin. But yeah, there's a whole variety of different foods that a lot of countries have that U.S. does not have. They have a lot of different, sweets. They have a lot of different, foods in general. There's one food that I grew accustomed to because I used to do it all the time, but people think it's so gross. It's haggis, which I like. I don't know if you've tried any of that stuff. I've eaten skunks. I've eaten possums. I've even eaten armadillos, which don't recommend skunks so much. But yeah. Hold on. Yeah, I'll probably do. I try to do a stream almost every day. So have a good night's sleep. I'm probably going to hit the bed in a few minutes because I got to get up early myself. But yeah, have a good night's sleep. And I'll see you probably tomorrow or maybe the next day, depending on how the week goes. But yeah. Oh, you will. You'll probably see me tomorrow night. Or tomorrow. It's going to be kind of confusing to set it all up. I have people that live in Britain, Japan, China, all these different places. But yeah, I'll probably do another 2 hours and 5 minute videos again. So it was a pleasure to talk to you. And if you write down a list of what you want to know about, states and that, you can ask them, because I'll probably answer. If I don't know, I'll probably look it up and answer it for you. So have a good night. And I'm going to end this here myself because I need to hit the hay. I love all of y'all, and stay safe. I'll see y'all in the next video.